What is up, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Jesse's Drone Adventures. Today I've got a tech tutorial for you guys. So, do you want to learn how to take photos like this? How about this? Or even like this? Well, then you've come to the right place, because in today's video I'm going to show you how to take long exposure photos on the DJI Mavic Mini. Let's get right into the video. Alright guys, here's a quick breakdown of how this video is going to go. First, I'm going to show you the proper settings that you're going to need to have your drone set to in order to take these long exposure photos. Second, I'm going to show you some of the long exposure photos that I took of this waterfall specifically for this video, so that way you can kind of gauge where things are at. And third, I'm going to go over a few pieces of good to know information for you, so that way you can really maximize your long exposure photo taking with your drone. Let's get right into it. Alright, so a couple things you'll need. First off, you'll need your DJI Mavic Mini, for obvious reasons. You'll also need an ND filter. ND filters are basically sunglasses for your camera. And when you're doing a long exposure photo, you're letting in a lot more light than usual, and these block out the bulk of that light. So that way it doesn't become overexposed, and thus capturing the blurred motion effect. For the demonstration, I'll be using an ND32 filter, and I'll actually go ahead and post a link down in the description in case you want to buy these off of Amazon. Alright, so now let's go ahead and open up the DJI Fly App. I have everything already preset, but the first thing you'll want to do is set your ISO to the lowest option, which is 100. You really don't want to set it to anything higher than that, because the higher you set it, the more overexposed it becomes, and it looks like crap. Next, you'll want to start off by setting your shutter speed to 1 second. And you got to remember, you're not using a tripod, so to get your drone to be 100% stable for anything longer than that can be a challenge. But 1 second is usually safe and just long enough. Alright, now let's go ahead and snap a photo. Let's line up our shot here, and bam! Alright, so what you're seeing here is the raw photo, and that actually turned out pretty good. For the sake of time, I enhanced the colors on Instagram to kind of doll it up a little bit, and this is the final result. So as you can see here, not too bad, and that, my friends, is how you take a long exposure photo on the DJI Mavic Mini. Alright guys, and last but not least, if you want to learn how to take a long exposure photo like this, here's all you have to do. Same principles that we just learned from taking the waterfall photo, but here's all you have to do. One, you just have to wait till it gets a lot darker. For me, it's about a half hour to 45 minutes past sunset in Arizona, or if you want to get there a little bit quicker, you can slap on an ND filter to kind of darken it. After you do that, all you have to do is usually you want to set the shutter speed to what's fairly long. For me, I set mine to 3 seconds, and I was actually able to get a long exposure from the sky at 3 seconds. That's a rare occasion, and it almost never ever happens, but I got lucky. Or if you want to, you can also set your drone on something and just set it to 4 seconds, which I do believe is the max on the DJI Mavic Mini. And the longer you set your shutter speed, that's what's going to give you that long, drawn-out light streak from the cars, so that way it really gives you like a bright and vibrant photo. So that's all you have to do. Alright guys, so now that we've come to the end of the video, I just want to share with you a few tips and tricks of the trade, so that way you can maximize your photo taking on your drone. First and foremost, just know that when you're taking long exposure photos of waterfalls on your drone, the settings that I used in this video are a great place to start, but they are not a one size for all. Sometimes you might have to increase the shutter speed, sometimes you might have to lower the shutter speed, sometimes you may have to use a higher ND filter or a lower ND filter, and a lot of that just kind of is contingent on what time of day it is there a lot of clouds, is there a lot of tree cover, are you down in a canyon? Sometimes you might just have to fine tune and really go back and forth with the settings until you find that sweet spot of a photo. But once you do, I promise it's well worth it. Alright guys, I'm thirsty, I want to grab a beer, and I want to grab a bite to eat, so I just want to say this real quick. If you got a lot of value out of this video and you thought it really helped you, then definitely go ahead and smash that like button, because I would greatly appreciate that. All the support helps, and it lets me know that this video wasn't complete crap. Also, if you do want to see more tech tutorials from me, go ahead and subscribe and let me know down in the comments section below. I'm primarily a travel channel, but every once in a while I like to do a little tech tutorial and a little bit of behind the scenes of my channel. So, until then, we'll see you guys next week. Take care.